The 23rd Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, we have royalty in the house. Slick Rick the Ruler, arguably the greatest storyteller in hip-hop history, is here. And at a festival for storytellers and creatives, it only makes sense that the king is here. So, Rick, tell us what brings you to Martha's Vineyard this year.
Well, we're trying to promote our new album, Victory, with the help of my people out here, you know? So we're just feeding people, you know what I mean? Inspire them, make a little fireplace for everybody's house, you know?
Now, let's talk about Victory, because you haven't dropped an album in some time. What made you, an elder statesman, say, I want to bring my version, my brand of hip-hop back into the game?
Well, I've always been entertaining my environment, my close environment, my wife, my peoples. So when I met Idris, and Idris wanted us to bring it to the forefront, bring it out to the marketplace. So it was all fun, you know. We got tons of joints, you know what I mean? So I went and hung out with my friend, made a new album with him, and then we just put it out to the public and see what the public think, you know? So that was how it went about. The 26 years was a lot of politics and dipping and diving to get to the finish line, you know? A lot of checking and rechecking the cat type, you know? And when we got to the finish line, everybody's happy and everybody's fed, you know, like that.
You have always been fashionable, stylish, back in the day with the chains. Now you're iced out. Like, how have you seen hip hop evolve, and where do you see your place in it?
Well, I see the melting pot growing as it's growing. You know what I mean? Each one teach one. And we grew with success, with money. You know what I mean? So once we started getting money, we climbed up into like a Harry Winston era, you know what I mean? We up there with these cats, you know what I mean? Just like we was with Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Chanel and them, we climbed up and we start giving advice like Pharrell's doing now. You know, he say, make Gucci underwear. We said that like in the 80s, you know what I mean? And, you know, because we bored, you know what I mean? We trying to get to the top of the ladder of what's deemed success and prestigious. And then we incorporate it with ourselves and then we just fly like Rolls Royce, all that, you know? So we just be flying with day stuff for now, you know, like that.
Now, what would make you open Victory with a spoken word piece, right? Like, you know, cats aren't doing that. Cats are coming there saying this, but you open with spoken word, and it's deep. What made you start the album with that?
Well, the spoken word thing, a lot of those ideas came from my wife and her team, you know? Mm-hmm. So I just we combined. So she did what she had to do to include her peeps, you know what I mean? Make it mature for them, make them feel a vibe, feel a little fire, and I just did my part. It's almost like saying, check out my kid or check out my husband, but let me say what I gotta say type, you know?
Okay. Now on the album, you have there's a record you have with Giggs, and as one of the first rappers from England to really kind of just like explode on the scene, where do you see that kind of America, England, rapper, our style versus their style, grime versus, what do you feel about that?
I think it's each one teach one, you know what I mean? So it's good to be able to be international, you know what I mean? So we go over there, shake hands with the fellas, hope they open the door, let us in, mingle with them, feed their people, bring them with us, feed our people. We get to know each other like cousins, you know?
like cousins. All right, now, you mentioned Idris, right? You just kind of let that name go. And the Idris you're talking about is Idris Elba.
Right.
How did that partnership come together?
Well, we met at a party, and we clicked. We had chemistry. And we just, he called me one day and said he wanted me to make an album with him, you know? And I said, yeah, sure, you know? Because he's into music too, you know, DJs. So I went to England with him, hung out with him, came up with some scraps and some ideas with his peoples, and we tried to make a fireplace among ourselves, you know what I mean? Before we bring it to the marketplace. So we had a blast. We talked like two adults in a situation type. That's why it's called stress and stuff like that. And we just gently put it out, fed it to the peoples, you know?
Your style has always been so unique in the way that you tell stories, from the words that you choose to the way you can bend them around the beat. Where did that come from? Where did the Slick Rick style come from that we saw in earlier records, but we definitely see on Victory?
Well, once you know the blueprint, you know what I mean, you can dance with it, you know? So once hip-hop came out and we learned the blueprint of it, we started playing with it. We started dancing with it, making stories, humor, all that kind of stuff. And then as we grew, we got better and we got more mature with the conversation. So it's always been like that, you know, always having fun with this craft, it's like becoming its mother and father if there's no mother and father out there for it, you know? So we just keep it growing and like a light shining, illuminating, like they say sometimes, illuminates, you know? Like
I know that's what I always like. You've always said that in some of your rhymes, like you illuminate. It's not shine.
Right.
Now, as the wordsmith that you are on Victory, you have a record with Nas, another top tier wordsmith and rapper. How did that partnership come about? How did you, did Nas hear that you're doing an album? It's like, oh, I got to get on it, or would you like, Nas, I want you to get on my album? Because y'all go back, y'all have history too.
Right. Well, we've always inspired each other. So, and I've always hung out with Nas, like, different shows in different places. We always have like chemistry also. So it was evident that we would hook up, and so anyway, so Nas said he's gonna hook up. He just handles England and Nas handles America, so the two have their own powers in different spots. So Nas got a lot of power in America and he just has the power in England, so when they combine we cover both continents, type of a thing, international type, you know what I mean? So that's where, and Nas, Nas is a big dog. He has a prestige, so it's good to stay up to the bar with my prestigious youth, like, yeah.
Do you have a favorite song on Victory where you say to yourself, okay, I'm in my bag right now, like I'm feeling it, this is like, do you have a song that Slick Rick says, I stamp my approval on this?
They all have they all have a place in my mind, in my mentality, you know what I mean? I know the public they really like Landlord and Documents with Nas, and yeah, and I like them all. I guess I would say Angelic was one I like a lot. But like I said, I like them all, like that, yeah.
The film festival, they tell stories. Your style has always been rooted in storytelling. What would you say to a young artist that sees you looking fabulous, your skin is great, the drip has always just dripping. What would you say to a young artist that says, how do I get, one, into the game, but how do I stay in the game and relevant as you have done?
Well, I guess you gotta love your craft. You gotta love your craft, and you gotta be allowed to grow. Like, our bodies are mannequins, so it's really like when you see we dress in a mannequin. You gotta know about color combinations that look good on brown skin. Little eyes, how to dress a mannequin. You dress the mannequin and you bring it out to the public and see if the public likes how it looks. It shows your style, your individual style. So make sure you dress your mannequins right, if you can, you know what I mean? And then with music, you learn the ingredients, and then you just fly on it. You fly in your own lane. You got to find your lane and then fly in it. And don't be one dimensional and always talk up, go that braggadocious route. There's all kind of avenues you should go that a lot of people don't go, because we get stuck in a one dimensional and it looks like we're just battling each other all day. When you could just talk about emotions, hurt, love, betrayal. It's like watching movies. You got drama, you got adventures, you got comedies. So we just find your place, and then fly and perfect your craft.
Yeah, you've never been afraid to show emotion, tell stories that were personal on the mic. Is Victory your victory lap, or is Victory the beginning of more from Slick Rick the Ruler?
I say more. But for now, I would say it was the growth. It's the growth. It comes from the 20s to 60, So it's the mind of the black growth. We was here when we was young, and now we're here when we're older, at 60, So this is how a 60-year-old sounds. We gotta appreciate ourselves. A lot of time we can't really talk like this because it's not accepted in certain societies, but this is Black Daddy, nigga. You study me like...
Slick Rick the Ruler, looking great, ready to wrap circles around rappers of any age, still doing it. Victory is out wherever you can download or buy your music. Go cop that. Thank you so much, Ruler, for joining us at Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.